Hey, I'm Rob Simpson from the Blizzard Esports team, and today joining me I have Gary Platner, the lead environment artist for World of Warcraft, and we've got an exclusive chance to interview him, ask him a few questions, and pick his brain a little bit about the coming expansion. So Gary, to get started, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the gaming industry?
I just answered an ad in the paper a long time ago, back in about '93. Answered an ad from Sega. They needed artists, and I had just graduated, so I applied, but they didn't hire me because I didn't go to Art Center. Apparently they thought I was good enough, but I didn't actually go to Art Center, so they didn't want me. But it got me into thinking about video games, so I took the first job I could, little game company in Costa Mesa, and worked there for a few years. I worked at Interplay for about 4 years. I was art director on Fallout 2. I was lead artist on Fallout 1 and a little bit on Torment, a little bit there. And then I started at Blizzard in May of '99, and I've been here ever since, about 11 years.
Cool. So tell us a little bit about what being a lead environment artist entails.
Well, the environment team is very small. We only have about 4 people, and it's our job to make the world. I always say we put the world in World of Warcraft. We make all the natural elements to the game, the trees and the rocks, all the ground textures, the sky, clouds, even water, everything like that. We also do a few other things like all the loading screens and the little in-game cinematics you would get when you first start a character. We also do that. But our main job is to provide artwork for the exterior level designers.
Awesome. So you kind of give them a lot of the tools and pieces that they need to.
Yeah, we give them all the art. We make all the artwork. We work with them and how we're going to make a zone. We'll make a little demo zone with our artwork and just go from there.
So after years of conceptualizing and designing these World of Warcraft environments, how have these tools or processes that you and your team use sort of evolved over the years and changed?
Oh, they've evolved a lot. We have our own proprietary software called the WoW Edit, we call it, just WoW Edit. It's our own tool, and that has changed many times over the years. Actually, almost every month there's something new added. We have a very active tools team. We call it tools. They're just functions and things we can put into the game, put into WoW Edit rather. So WoW Edit has really changed. It's really turned into this great art tool. It's a really nice painting tool. We can paint and texture terrain with a Wacom pen, so you could push and pull geometry and move trees and scale stuff around and paint on our textures. It's very artistic, and that has really improved a lot over the years.
And so now, like over the years, as these environments have been changed or added with each new expansion, like what kind of challenges have you been confronted with, especially with Cataclysm? There's a lot of changes coming there.
Right. Well, the big challenge was for us in the beginning to really make the old world look a little more updated. There's a lot of stuff we couldn't do, and a lot of people don't know this, but the reason we did a lot of things in the old world was because of our limitations of the engine. You couldn't see very far. We had a thing called LOD, which is level of detail, and it would, in a sense, reduce the poly count of mountains, say. When you look far in the distance, it would kind of remove a few polygons. So we would make our mountains a little bit different. Now we don't have to worry about that. You can see much further in WoW. Our mountains and terrain can look a lot better. So when we went back to Cataclysm, we wanted to make all that stuff look better like we did in Northrend. Make the mountains look a little more detailed, which we couldn't do in the beginning. Deep Home was pretty tough. We wanted to do some giant cave like inside some kind of planet thing, and we weren't sure how to do it, so we thought we wanted new tech, or we thought we may need it, where we could make terrain kind of upside down, so we'd have like the same terrain up here that we could have on the bottom, and we were sure we wanted that, and we got the tools team to make that happen for us. And then we decided, you know what, we have a different solution. We didn't end up using that, and the tools team was like, well, we spent months on this, and you don't need it. I'm like, well, I'm sure we'll use it someday, but just not today. Yeah.
Sure. So what are the other steps that your team has taken to go from hearing the initial story progression plan for Cataclysm to visually incorporating and enhancing, all of these aspects of the game?
Well, anytime you give an artist something new that's old to work on, we want to improve it a lot. But with Cataclysm, it was about the same kind of progression we would do. We would talk about a zone or talk about what we wanted to do, and all that stuff would happen on paper. For an artist, we need to see that. We need to visualize how that's going to look. So we would do lots of concepts, just big paintings about how we wanted things to look so we could approve what we wanted. Once we see all the colors, That way we'll know if that's something we want to do. So we'll do a lot of artwork. We'll have Justin Kuntz, Gus Schmidt, he would do that on our team, Mark Gibbons a little bit. So once we have a piece of art, a big piece of concept, well, from there we can just make the whole game. We got the concept is our roadmap. We've got the colors of the fog, we've got the lighting, the ground textures, how our trees are going to look. It's a consistent thing. You know, people probably don't realize that when you make a game like World of Warcraft, you need to make it as though one person did it. But many people would have worked on many different aspects of it. We have a different team doing the buildings, different team doing the trees and lighting and everything. But it's such an artistic style, you know, stylistic game. We want it to look like one guy did it, like it's a complete painting.
Sure. So, I mean, I know you've worked on a lot of pieces now over the years. What's your favorite new environment added or changed in this upcoming expansion?
Oh, well, there's so many that are my favorite, of course. They're all my favorite. They're all really good.
Now, you can pick a favorite.
I can. I do have a favorite. Bashir is really amazing. That came out really good when we first heard about it. Doing a whole underwater zone was like, how are we going to pull this off? You know, this is going to be crazy, but it came out really, really good. I really love Lost Isles. I really love Kazan, all the starting zone for the goblins. Really nice, but my very, very favorite zone has got to be Gilneas. That's for the Worgen starting zone. That came out so good. It's just the consistency between our buildings, even the clothes the Worgen are wearing and the human version of them are wearing. The ground textures, the lighting, it's just a cohesive theme that everything works so well in that zone. It's just gorgeous.
Was there anything that you can currently do now that does stand out that you couldn't do before, given those tools and the way that everything's evolved?
There's actually lots of things. To mention a few, I always talk at BlizzCon about vertex shading, one of my favorite features where we can add color and light. We can paint that in essentially anywhere we want to. We can use it as a shadow or a highlight, which adds a lot more dimension to the game. That's always been great. We've always done more with that. For Cataclysm, we have a thing called point lights, which is like adding a light to a certain, like say a lamp.
Right.
We can put a light on a lamp now, and it will illuminate the ground around it, illuminate the character, or add color. Or say if there wasn't a lamp there or anything, we just wanted to add different color to his own. Well, we can now do that with these point lights and add, you know, a little more color, a little more shading, stuff we couldn't do with our lighting system before. Really cool. But probably the best thing, the most incredible part of our tools is a thing we call Live Update. The idea is, if we're in WoW Edit and you're making something, you're pulling terrain and stuff, what you have to do if you want to see that in game, you have to level build it, you have to actually put it in your local build of the game, run your game and see it. Now I can work on WoW Edit and have the game running and see what I'm doing. I can move a bush or move a tree or do terrain. I can see that happening in game. Because WoW Edit is close to what the game looks like, but it's not exactly. I need to see how things really are looking to the player. So now we can do that. All right, and that tool is the best tool we have.
All right, well, Gary, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you to all of you at home for getting us this exclusive interview with Gary Platner, the lead environment artist. We'll see you in Cataclysm.